Hey, what's going on? It's Stokely from Sauce on Delay. Oh man. The other day I was social media, of course. That's where I get a lot of my inspiration. Right? So I was on social media and I think it was either Washington Post or Wall Street Journal had a post that loneliness is as threatening to your health as cigarettes. Right? So that means that our social interactions, we're social animals. We already know that human beings are social animals. We live in groups, societies, whatever. Communes, feudal towns, villages, camps, communes, whatever you want to call it, right? We live together with other people. It's supposed to be, they scratch your back, you scratch their back. One watches your back, you watch their back, So it's I don't know, symbiotic. Would that be the right word? Symbiotic relationship. We need each other to basically survive for the most part. And I'm reminded of that a lot when I get sick. When I get sick, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm basically debilitated right now. I don't want to do anything. Thankfully, there's people around that will help me. And then even as a last resort, we have institutions like the hospitals, the ambulances, and various governmental agencies that will also help us out, and that's facilitated by people. So anyhow, then I was listening to Good Day New York, Fox 5 in the morning, and they were talking about the same report, and then they had a social worker online explaining, well, she didn't really explain why loneliness is as dangerous as cigarettes, but if I would guess, you're making not so good health choices. Your mindset is in a bad place, and if your mindset is in a bad place, then the body pretty much follows. We spoke about on the podcast about placebo effect. Drugs even work better when sometimes it's not even a drug. Sometimes it's just a placebo, and in 30% of the cases, with some placebo drugs, the person gets better just over having a positive mindset, just having a healing mindset. So if loneliness is a major issue for someone, then they can also get into a negative mindset where they make themselves ill as the effects of a cigarette habit. So I can understand that. Makes sense to me. What else is going on? So what the licensed social worker was suggesting as remedies to loneliness is prioritizing your friends and family. And then I think her name is Jessica Scotto. She's been on the show since I was little. But she asked... No, she not. The new co-host asked, well, she's probably not new, but the co-host with Jessica Scotto asked, well, sometimes you're around people who are toxic. So would you suggest prioritizing those people? And unfortunately, I was cooking, so I didn't really get to hear what the response was. So, but I'm pretty sure it's no. You can't prioritize trying to solve your loneliness by congregating and associating yourself with toxic people or toxic situations, or you may be the toxic ones that might be adding the toxicity. You might be making the situation toxic. I'm just saying that. But you don't drink poison when you're thirsty, right? So even if you're lonely, you shouldn't choose to occupy or solve your loneliness with toxic people, toxic behaviors. But then, they went on to talk about the prevalence and the uptick in mental health issues due to COVID, to the whole period there. The whole COVID, the whole, I don't know, about 3 years of 19, 20, and 21, that was a very rough time. I mean, I think we're still feeling ramifications of that. Even now, I mean, economically, we're just starting to feel ramifications of it. But anyhow, she said prioritize family and friends, but, I wouldn't say that. I would say, yes, that does apply in some cases, but you want to prioritize people who are helping you get into the right direction. If you're an alcoholic and prioritizing hanging out with people who are going to make you drink more alcohol, that's not going to help. That's going to cause more problems. That's going to cause more harm. That's going to enable your addiction. It's going to enable the destruction of your body. Hanging out with people who are negatively influencing you. So you still got to protect yourself, because trying to solve your loneliness, you might get yourself in a worse situation. Not saying that worst situation is going to be the end of you. Sometimes that worst situation might give you a change in perspective and give you a new lease on life. The fact that, you're in a worse situation and you say, well, I was lonely in that situation. Now I'm even in a worse situation. You know what? I had it pretty good. So if I can get back to that, then I'll be all right, and I'll do even better. So sometimes you get in a worse situation and you appreciate the situation you're in. Like, for instance, I went on a job interview, and the company that I interviewed with, well, I bombed on the interview. I did terribly on the interview. First of all, I did terribly on the interview because I showed up late. That's terrible. Now, the next thing is, that's on their side. They should disqualify me. I would have disqualified me immediately just for that. But on my side, I had to disqualify them because the workload is 6 times the amount of workload that I have now. And I'm pretty doubt that they're going to pay me 6 times what I'm getting paid now. So, I had to tell the recruiter, well, guess what? I don't think I can do this because this workload is 6 times. By my calculations, at minimum 6 times what I'm currently, my current workload. And I need my peace. I need my mental health. I need my flexibility. So my current occupation affords that, and I'm not gonna compromise the little bit of flexibility and peace of mind that I have for a few more dollars, So yeah, I'm not gonna do it. It's not gonna work. Anyhow, 6 times the workload. So for example, if I was doing 100 things, now I have to do 600 things. So that's basically what it worked out to be. So anyhow, you're not going to put yourself in a worse situation to solve your loneliness. I'm not going to put myself in a worse situation just to make up a few more dollars. So similarly, loneliness, maybe we don't even know that we're lonely sometimes. We just start to act. We don't, so mindfulness is very important, and to know what we're feeling. And, you want to see people, make sure you're not wanting to see somebody who is toxic, negative, and gonna, put you in a bad place or push you back into your addiction or, any kind of negative, take you in a negative place, you don't want to do that. So, I think one way to solve loneliness to start is definitely go places. I don't know, where everybody lives, but there's typically a lot of things going on in college, I don't know. I used to go to the different clubs, organizations, meetings. I used to see people that I see all the time, and then eventually we struck up a conversation. And in the process, I'll learn about whatever they were teaching about in that seminar, in that whatever that they were doing. Similarly, I used to go to political events. I used to go to some of the free events that the politicians used to put on when they, like whether they're having speakers or they're having entertainment or whatever the case may be. Go to these places. Yeah, you're going to places by yourself, whatever, but you're getting some enrichment with the information that you're getting. Sometimes you get some free stuff. You get free bags. You get free food. You get all this stuff. So, and people are always, I definitely know that politicians are always doing outreach, trying to get more followers and trying to win more hearts and minds. So it's a good opportunity to get some free food and some free bags and free water bottles and stickers and books and all kind of stuff like that. So, get yourself out there. Sometimes they have these, like the Architecture Association. So many things. Like, you can go on Eventbrite and find free things going on all over the place. You can go on, you can volunteer. You want to associate with people that are positive. So you want to go to places that are positive and forward moving. And then, then you can, that doesn't mean that those people are necessarily nice or going to be compatible with you, but at least you get some interaction. That's if you're really don't have any family members that are accessible or anything like that. But definitely you want to associate with positive people. You don't want to solve your loneliness by drinking poison. Anyhow, thanks for listening.